I had absolutely no intention of ever doing another video on Batwoman. However, statements such as this, statements such as the ones made by Javicia Leslie, the tokenized replacement of Kate Kane in the CW's Batwoman, only serve as a daily reminder of the horrific and disturbing effects that the principles of diversity and inclusion, which are inconsistent and disingenuous at best, have on the psyche of the modern-day liberal woman, specifically the ones who pursue a career in the entertainment world. And these types of statements just cannot go unaddressed. Swords out. Once again, I'll make this quick. What up, man? This is Sir John Legion, the Lord with the Sword. Instead of just bowing out gracefully, actress Javicia Leslie decided to give some final thoughts on the impact that the CW Arrowverse's Batwoman show had on television in comparison to Marvel Studios' 2018 record-breaking blockbuster movie Black Panther. So this is an article that was published by comicbook.com and reported by Emily Ogby. It reads, Javicia Leslie, star of the recently canceled Batwoman, has compared the CW series' cultural impact to that of Marvel's Black Panther movie. Leslie joined Batwoman with season 2, replacing Ruby Rose as the titular hero and playing a new original character named Ryan Wilder. The official cancellation of Batwoman came down on April 29th, the same day DC Legends of Tomorrow also got canceled. Since then, fans have campaigned for Batwoman to be saved with the hashtag #SaveBatwoman hashtag on social media. The actress portrayed the first black lesbian member of the Bat family and believes the TV show can resonate with viewers in the same way the Marvel Studios movie did. Okay. Leslie is quoted stating, "The cultural movement that came after Black Panther, what the movie showed was how there is a space for black superheroes and black comics," Leslie told Digital Spy. I'm not sure if Javicia Leslie is familiar with Milestone Comics, but back in 1993, during that first calendar year when Milestone Comics was launched, so I'm sure the 4 founders of DC's Milestone Comics would have something to say about that as far as proving that there was a space for quote-unquote black superheroes and black comics. Continuing. And so coming on the heels of that as Batwoman, we also showed that there's a space for it in television. There's a space for it to exist once a week, every week, and there's a community for it. And that community doesn't all look like Ryan. He continued, "That's what I love about Ryan. He has so many boxes that she checks, no kidding. It allows the community not to have to look like her. It's just all about her. Like, I've had conversations with fans that have grown up in the foster care world, and I've had fans tell me something else that's very similar to Ryan that equates to their life. So the doors that were open from Batwoman were really doors to show the higher-ups, the bigwigs, that there is a space for black superheroes. There is a space for women superheroes. Where's this girl been in the past 15 years? Anyway, there's a space for gay superheroes. There's a space for all of us, and let's continue to show that diversity." Now, for those of you who have watched my video discussing the cancellation of CW's Batwoman, number one, I sincerely appreciate those of you who left a like for that video. And speaking of likes, go ahead and drop a like for this video. And be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel because more content will be on the way from the Lord with the Sword. But anyway, back to the video. In that video, I clearly absolved Miss Leslie of any blame or accountability for the show's lack of quality and ultimate cancellation. For the most part, I'm on record stating that she was being brought onto a sinking ship, regardless of how I felt she performed in the role, which I hadn't even expressed yet, and I certainly didn't in that video. Now, there's nothing wrong with an actor being thankful or expressing gratitude for being hired for a job, despite the belief that the project ended prematurely. Of course not. But context is king on this subject matter, and you can't just say anything just because you check a certain amount of boxes identity-wise and expect people to take you seriously. That's just silly. Maybe Javicia Leslie doesn't understand that she wouldn't be the first and she won't be the last. But you are comparing the impact of $1 billion movie, a cast that was littered with some of the more decorated actors of this generation in Angela Bassett and Forrest Whitaker, Martin Freeman, Andy Serkis, all well respected, all with really great and accomplished resumes. Mix in a couple of young starlets and rising stars on that cast, and Letitia Wright and Michael B. Jordan, and of course the late Chadwick Boseman, who was a budding superstar. And let's not even forget the director, Ryan Coogler. If you followed any of those websites that are dedicated to tracking or projecting what the box office numbers would be for opening week, even after pre-sale tickets for Black Panther sold out in record numbers, people still had no clue what to project or what to think on how much money this film could ultimately make. And predictions were all over the place, and some of you didn't even bother to make predictions. In MCU, we're talking about an MCU film that at that point was now the most popular and most culturally relevant film franchise on the planet, bar none. And let me just get this out of the way now so that there is no confusion moving forward with this channel. Obviously, my avatar that I'm using for this channel insinuates that to a certain degree, I like the Black Panther character. Which I do, that's a fact. Now, my personal assessment of the Black Panther film is this, and I'll probably do a video revisiting my overall opinion of the Black Panther film from beginning to end, but that will be done sometime in the distant future. However, the short answer to my opinion on the movie is that Black Panther is a good film. It's not a perfect film, not a great film. It's a good film. I do not have this film ranked inside my top 10 all-time comic book movies. As a matter of fact, last time I checked, I believe I have it just inside my top 20, maybe in top 25. My list is on another floppy drive. I have to go back and find it just to be 100% certain. But I'm almost certain it's somewhere between 14 and 24 on my list. That film has a bevy of problems, not just structurally, but one of the more disappointing third acts that I can remember seeing in a comic book film, along with some other problems that I have with the film that, again, I'll end up addressing in a video later on down the line. I usually rate films on a scale of 1 to 10, and I gave Black Panther a 7. It's rewatchable, sure, but not exceptional in comparison to other films that I have ranked much higher. So I just wanted to clear that up. But aside from the film itself, it'd be disingenuous for me to understate the marketing machine that was put behind this film, the commotion on social media that this film drummed up, the circular race talk conversations that sprung up over the internet surrounding this film. I'm not saying all of them were pointless. There were some specials and documentaries I checked out that were rather good, but also with that, the hoaxes, the Facebook group who allegedly went out of their way to post negative reviews on the film on Rotten Tomatoes to tamper with the algorithm to sabotage the film's rating a week before the film's theatrical release. Social media posts of Caucasians putting on makeup, claiming to have allegedly been beaten up by black moviegoers or been victims of a hate crime when they went to the theater to see the movie, and vice versa. The woke pro-blacks losing their minds over on Black Twitter, the Afrofuturism seminars, the gaslighting by the white liberals, and the, oh, it's our duty to support this film, and we should just keep our mouth shut. We shouldn't speak on our feelings about the film. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But yet you'll preach equality and equal treatment. But all this hype and all these shenanigans that people were involving themselves in, despite which side of the fence they were on or what their intent was or what their agenda was, all this ultimately contributed to the benefit and the profits of Disney Marvel, resulting in $1 billion box office success and a cultural phenomenon. The #1 highest grossing film of 2018 domestically, made more domestically than Avengers Infinity War. That fact slipped even my mind. I didn't remember Black Panther doing that until I looked it up this morning. And that's not counting toy sales, DVD sales, merchandise, not even counting that. But Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios were the real winners at the end of the day. Now, as far as independent black comic creators and black sci-fi Black science fiction creators managing to capitalize off of the momentum and the success of Black Panther. Well, I would have to defer to Sean James or, any other brothers that are out here on YouTube or any of these other, social media platforms who are grinding and, guys that were able to get a lot more eyeballs and garner a lot more attention and visibility onto their projects and their characters that they wanted to bring to the masses and, and capitalize on that market. I would have to defer to those brothers as far as because I'm not a comic creator, so I don't necessarily want to speak to how impactful it was, because my perspective might not be, the most informed. So I would go to somebody like Sean James or, another Black independent comic creator, and I'm sure, of course, there were some benefits that came out of the success of Black Panther for them. And that's a great thing. Apart from Marvel, they were ultimately the beneficiaries of that cultural phenomenon, in my view. But at the end of the day, the delusions of grandeur and behavior in relation to that moment in time, as baffling as some of it came across, even to me, and I'm an actual fan and reader of the comics, doesn't compare to this chick's belief that what she did on this show for 2 seasons could hold a candle to that. This quote had to have been manufactured or something that somebody at DC Warner Brothers asked her to recite this behind a live microphone, because there is no way this is genuine. I'm trying to give this sister an exit ramp, the benefit of the doubt, but because there's just no way. Let's not even point out the distinction between T'Challa, an original character, and Ryan Wilder, a tokenized race swap version of a character that's not even 20 years old. A character in Ryan Wilder that has zero history or lore in DC Comics. There was not a thimble's worth of evidence revealing a noticeable spike or increase in viewership per episode of Batwoman, not during season 2 or season 3. Not among the quote-unquote African-American demographic or LGBTQ viewers of note. The community that she is claiming this show created a space for, because if it was, well, they certainly didn't see the importance of tuning in week after week to watch the show once you put on the suit. I mean, hell, the writers couldn't even find a way for your character to do anything to earn the suit. It just fell into Ryan Wilder's lap or her van. A plane that Kate Kane was flying on crashed. The suit happened to be on the plane during the crash. Ryan retrieves the suit and presto, another hand-me-down to another person of color. Batwoman is now Black woman. Don DeMarco. Oh man, these woke actresses, man. Like, you can't tell them nothing that they don't conjure up in their minds, man. I truly believe the ratings and weekly viewership numbers were purposefully hidden from this chick, or she's just willingly choosing to ignore them. Me, I'm still rolling with the narrative that this was a written statement handed to Javicia Leslie that she recited. I mean, there is no video footage of it, so. But again, I can't be surprised. This is the type of delusion and cognitive dissonance that studios and other entities like to harbor amongst their talent and like to pander to. And Disney is just as guilty. Marvel is just as guilty, as are just about all the others. It is what it is, but go woke, go broke, man. Look, it's going to come back to haunt them in some way. There's just no way around it. That's all I really have to say. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave your comments down below. And again, be sure to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. More content and news will be posted over the next few days. This is John Legion signing off one more time. I'm out.